But once we've said those things, we can't take them back. Now, we can ask for forgiveness, but often that person will still remember what we've said, even if they forgive us. So we can affect long-term our relationships with people we love and people we like in a very unhelpful way, because we don't know how to manage our anger. So the determination not to express angry feelings through body or speech is the training in sila. But that's not the whole story, of course, because if you do that, well, maybe you just frustration will just sort of build up until you finally explode, and we see that quite a lot, where people feel that they should not be angry, and then they can hold it in for a while, and eventually when they can't hold it in anymore, it's even more violent than it would have been otherwise. So but that's not to say we shouldn't be restrained in that way. It's just that it's only one part of how you deal with negative emotion. The second area is the area of emotional development, which very simply is developing techniques and applying techniques to reduce the power of negative emotions and to create and support and to nurture the positive emotions. Now, within this field of emotions, I'm including here things like mindfulness, and mindfulness or sati is one of the key factors which will be effective in dealing with negative emotion. When you're developing mindfulness, it means you're developing the ability to be awake, aware, responsible in the present moment. You're sensitive to yourself, your feelings, your physical state, your mental state, what's right, what's wrong, so on. Not just being carried away with thoughts of resentment and feeling hurt and noi chai and all these things. So to give you an example, if you are developing mindfulness on a regular basis, then you will notice that before you get really angry with somebody, that there are certain physical changes that take place, and they can vary from person to person. Some people feel some kind of tension in their calves, some people can feel it in their arms, some people in their neck, and you just see if you can find that for yourself in your body, where before you get really angry there's certain kind of tension in your body, and that's your early warning system. If you're sensitive to that, then it's, oh look, I'm starting to get that sensation again. It means I'm starting to get angry. So before the situation becomes really extreme, you're able to deal with it, just to relax. And at that stage, if you have enough mindfulness and awareness to catch it, when it's just on a sort of physical level, it's not really on the thinking, emotional level so much yet, then just simply relaxing the body, just like with this simple meditation technique we've been doing of relaxing from the head down to the toes, just something like that, and the physical relaxation can give you ability just to kind of reset your mind and just to calm yourself before things become any more difficult or extreme. Another key emotion or virtue is that of patience. Now, it's impossible, no matter how wealthy you are or how fortunate you are in your surroundings, it's just not possible that you're going to go through a whole day where you don't have some kind of sensory impingement through your eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body and mind, which you don't like. There's going to be pleasant and unpleasant impingement on at the sense doors in all situations. Now, the untrained mind is very instinctual, and that is to say, when we have a pleasant stimulus, then we like it, and we try to make the best, as much of it as we can. We grasp onto it, and when we an unpleasant impulse, impingement, we want to push it away or get rid of it. This is an instinct, and it's the same instinct that animals have, or all living things have, to move towards what's pleasant and to push away or to move away from what's unpleasant. Well, that is not always the wisest technique, way of dealing with experience in life, is it? Because it doesn't take very long to appreciate that some things that we experience through the senses as unpleasant are actually very useful to us, and certain things which we experience immediately as very pleasant, enjoyable, are in the long run dangerous or harmful to us. So we need to have some kind of a governing factor which can stand above that instinct of moving towards what we like and moving away from what we don't like, which evaluates, well, is it worth staying with something which is unpleasant? What's the reason, the purpose, the value, the pros and the cons? Similarly, when we experience something which we enjoy and is very pleasant, it's extremely helpful to be able to step back from that a little bit every now and again and just evaluate, long term, what are the good points and the bad points, the pros and the cons. And that's not something that comes naturally, that's something that comes through this education and training. So if you recognize there's something, this is really kind of unpleasant, it's hot or it's cold or it's depressing or it's this or it's boring or it's that, but then you have this sense, well, yes, but in the long run it's actually going to be very useful for me to bear with this. That's the sort of the wisdom side, but the emotional side is you need to be patient. You need to be able to bear with things that are not pleasant at certain times. So in the case of anger, it's almost always the case of a frustrated desire, isn't it? You want something and you're not getting what you want. Is that correct? Have a look and see. Or you want something to be a particular way and it's not the way that you want it to be. Or you want somebody to be in a particular way, to behave towards you in a particular way, and they don't. So somebody is very short with you or very harsh with you or speaks in a very contemptuous way to you. Why does that make you angry? Because you don't want them to talk like that. You want them to talk in a different way. You want them to speak with you with respect and kindness and so on. So when we meet things which are not in line with our desires, the way that we want people to be or things to be, then we can get angry. And in fact, I think you can see there are two kind of main personality types. When you have that kind of frustration, some people react to that, immediately get angry. Other people become depressed. This is just two kind of, it's a fork in the road, and it depends on people's personality, I think, more than anything else. But it's the same phenomena, an instinctual adverse reaction to the frustration of desire. You're not getting what you want in some way. So being able to be patient and not just reacting to that, and just being able to bear with something sometimes, is a very useful technique for blunting the anger and the third